But you know, even in college, and I spent my whole life being a professor at colleges and universities around the United States, and I still teach at the New School here even now, I've always been amazed and taken aback that American students don't object more to the grading system. I give a little speech at the beginning of every semester where I apologize to my class for grading. I explain to them that I am not here to determine whether you are a B potato or a C potato or an A potato. And I can't possibly evaluate your mental capabilities by reading a couple of things you wrote under duress in an exam situation when you hadn't digested your breakfast properly and your girlfriend had just said things to you that made your mind blow up. I'm now going to give you a grade as to how you performed. This makes no sense. And it has nothing to do with education. If you want me to educate you, then I have to read your writing over a period of time. We have to have conversations. I'll give you my opinions. They may or may not be you. That's it. That's a reasonable way to we don't do that. We give you these pressurized exercises and then write an A or a B or a C, and I apologize to the students. This is offensive. This is unfair. And I'm as honest as I know how, and I say to the students, I do this because I don't want to lose my job. They require us as professors to do this. So I'm going to do it, but I don't have to like it, and I don't have to approve of it. And then the students always raise their hand, and that's why I want to say the next thing. Well, then what is it really for? You hate it. We hate it. Why are we doing this? And I explain to them, the administration, it's a pain for them too. They have to keep all these records. Who cares? And the answer is, somewhere there has to be a reason for this. So I'm going to offer you one. Our system, our economic system, creates jobs mostly if enterprises think there's profit to be made by hiring a person to do something. In other words, we subordinate the employment decision, giving a person a job that he or she has been preparing for and studying for and likes to do, or whatever the motivations are. We give them a job if and only if it's profitable for somebody else to do that. And if it isn't, you don't have a job. You know, it has nothing to do with usefulness. A 10-minute walk out of the building here will show you 50 things that need to be done that could employ thousands of people. Clean the streets, rebuild the cities, have the daycare center. You know, we all know. It's easy. So clearly, we don't give people jobs because there's something useful to do. We don't give them jobs because nobody's making any money. So here's the problem. In our capitalist system, and this is really true now, it was always true, but it's true in spades now, there aren't enough jobs that are profitable. And this is a difficult thing. Why? How do you go to the American people and say, you know, we're terribly sorry to tell you that you're living in a capitalist system and you've got a lot of energy and a lot of creativity and you studied real hard and you're smart as a whip and you're fired. Or better yet, you're not even hired ever. You wanted to be a physicist? How about, I don't know, barista? You can study how the steam goes through the coffee and write a paper for your grandmother. There aren't the jobs, and it's very hard. How do you explain it to people? If you explain it the way I'm doing it now, you're going to make critics of the system because you're saying you are all victims of a system that can easily identify loads of things to be done, but it can't work out getting you, who want a job, doing what we can all see needs to be done. So, because the system is so fundamentally irrational, you have no job. Have a nice day. The system can't do that. So the system has to work out a way that the absence of work either of any work at all, or of work that has any relationship to what you've been trained to do, or has any relationship to what you would love to do and would capture your passion and your creativity. The inability of the system to provide that has to be explained to you in a way that doesn't make you anti-capitalist. And here's how we do that. Grades. No, I'm really serious. Grades. I give you an A. I give him a B. I give her a C. I give her an A plus, whatever I do, and it has a wonderful function. It means that employers, who don't have enough jobs anyway, will give it to the A's. And the beauty, the B's and the C's, who don't get a job, this is the good part, will blame themselves. They weren't good enough. They didn't do studying enough. They took the wrong courses. They majored in the wrong topic. They buttered up the wrong professor. Whatever it was, they failed. And instead of being angry at the system, they'll go and have a lot of extra drinks because they feel bad about them. This is a technique for social survival, to have the victims of a system blame themselves. It really isn't very different from what feminists taught us some years ago, that if somebody attacks a young lady who has a tight blouse, the problem isn't the blouse and the lady, it's the problem of what's going on in the brain of the attacker. We're not without jobs because we got a B or we got a C. We're without jobs because there aren't enough jobs, and somebody has to take the fall. You're it. You got a B, and you're going to blame yourself.